Galen, are you there?
Hey, Tom, how are
Oh,
you?
there you are. Good morning.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here.
You got a little earlier start than normal, so you're a little farther along. You're in that down zone already. I don't know how you get there that quick, pal.
It shouldn't be. But yeah, I am. I should be good now. I should be past it. But I think you forgot to push the button, so I'm going to blame you.
No, I didn't forget to push the button this time. You just weren't there. That's all. I have
How
forgotten
are
to
you
push
today,
the
my
button.
man?
I have forgotten to push the button many times, but today wasn't the day. Well,
How are you?
I'm fine. My wife, however, not so good.
Uh-oh.
You know, I got a sleep study done, by the way, by a neurologist and everything about it. The results came in. I did it about a month ago. Well, the results came in. Shocking. I have sleep apnea. Shocking.
Yeah,
I
sure.
woke up in my sleep study. I woke up and you don't remember waking up. It's like a subconscious thing. And I woke up
Sure.
according to the study. You come home and they put a strap around your belly, and then you got to wear something around your wrist and breathing apparatus in your nose. Well, anyway, I woke up over 250 times in a 6-hour sleep.
That doesn't sound good.
I stopped.
That's
I
like
stopped breathing every time. That's what woke me up. My body woke myself up, so I would breathe. My oxygen levels dropped into the 80s. That's not good.
Yeah. Well, you know why I've never taken a sleep test?
For that
I
reason.
fail it.
yeah, yeah.
I'm a terrible sleeper. I don't snore. I don't have sleep apnea. I'm just not good at it. Like if there are certain human beings who are like my son is probably one of the top 5 sleepers in the world. He could sleep anywhere. He can sleep for as long as you let him.
He's
If you
Joe
said,
Pesci in
"Tristan,
county
today,"
jail and My Cousin Vinny, right?
That's right. That's right. If I said, Tristan, today you can sleep 20 hours, and then every 6 hours you can get up and you can eat as much as you want, he would be like, all right, I'm down for that. Because that's really all he cares about is sleeping and eating, and then he'd work out every day.
So your son's a
And
cat,
that,
is what you're saying. Your son's a cat.
yeah, that's a fair comparison. He will sleep wherever you tell him to. You have no idea how many gyms we've been in, and we're in this court in outside of Atlanta, and there's 30 basketball courts, right? And so you can imagine the noise. And there's not everything's hard surface, right? You either got an aluminum bench
Certainly.
or you've got a gymnasium floor. And you've got like sometimes 3 or 4 hours between games.
Oh, yeah.
And he is curled up around a pole. And we were like getting ready to warm up, and I'm like, okay, there's only 7 players on the team. I'm like, okay, I've got all the players. I'm like, well, where's my son? I don't know. It took me a good 20 minutes to find him.
He's asleep on a gym
When I
floor
found him,
somewhere.
and he was literally circled around like the center post in the middle of a gymnasium floor.
Well, the
It
reason
was unbelievable.
I bring this up is so it's obvious I have a sleep pattern issue.
Sure.
So I'm going to go do another sleep study now because that's how it works. You do one, you fail it, so now they want me to go stay overnight at the doctor's office.
You got to go to remedial testing.
Yeah, because I didn't fail it. I failed it horribly, but not horrible enough, I guess. So now I got to go.
Tell them your anti-standardized testing.
Right, now I got to go where they, through a two-way mirror, they watch me and everything while I sleep, which is
That's
creepy. But
terrible.
okay.
I couldn't do it. I wouldn't be able to sleep.
But I got sleep issues. So last night I did trivia and everything, and I have been known at times to sleepwalk with no help, no Ambien or anything like that, just because of my bad sleep habits. So last night, about 3 o'clock in the morning, my wife turns on the light in the bedroom and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I go, "I got to move this. I got to get to the bathroom." She goes, "Got to move what?" I go, "This trailer in front of the door." She goes, "You're at the dresser, moron. The door's over there on the left." Literally, she woke up because I had squatted down in a powerlifting squat, and I was fixing to move the dresser.
pretty good.
The only
pretty
problem
good.
with that is I had been kicking and doing all this all night. My poor wife, I woke her up at 1:47 in the morning. She hadn't been back to sleep yet.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I can't get the sleep study fast enough, and it's not really for me. It's so my wife can get a good night's sleep.
so how much longer is she going to sleep in the same bed with you? I guess. Question.
She's done it for
At some point, you just give up.
She's done it for the last 2.5 years.
Yeah. Well, you're married now, and
By the way,
everything changes
we'll
when
be
you're
married a year in like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks.
Absolutely. That's, let's say 15 months is, she has her own bedroom. You have your own bedroom. Maybe that's.
Oh no, I get there's times where I'll wake up and go what, and I'll go in there and go, what time do you move in here? She goes, about 2:00. She'll be in the guest bedroom. Oh yeah.
That way the dogs have more room.
And by the way, so many people have sleep apnea. I didn't realize how many people have sleep apnea because my wife put it out on Facebook that finally the sleep study came back, and now I got to go for my second one. By the way, the first sleep study was in April. The next sleep study in August. That's how quick the science moves.
Wow.
But yeah,
Wow.
so that's how backed up they are. So
Sure.
I want to get her a good night's sleep as fast as possible. But I was amazed at how many people have sleep apnea because when she put on Facebook that finally the sleep study came back, lo and behold, I failed it. Surprise, surprise. I was amazed at the men and women, and when I say hundreds, I literally mean hundreds, that reached out going, you're going to have so much better sleep. God, since I've had my sleep apnea, since I've had my CPAP machine, I think half the country has a CPAP machine.
Sure. Yeah, why not?
So
Why not?
I'm looking forward to it because I haven't had a good night's sleep probably in, I was a teenager probably.
Yeah, I'm just not a good sleeper. I don't know. I've never been good at it.
I wake up I literally get up out of the bed every 2 hours.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Yeah, my wife, I just get up at like 2:00 in the morning, and then I'll just stay up until like 6:30, and then I get ready to go to work. Well, that's what happened today.
That's what Susan had to
sit
do
and
today.
read.
Susan got up at 1:47.
Yeah, and then I just read for.
She didn't go to bed
3 or 4
about. She
hours.
didn't go to bed about 9:15 though, so she at least got a solid 4 hours. She got a solid 4 hours,
She's getting in front of you.
Right. Well, I was at trivia, so she got.
She goes,
exactly.
Yeah.
She gets up at 4:30 every morning anyway to get ready and all to go open just shit by
You
6:30.
just gave her a head start.
That's all I did.
You just gave her a head start.
That's all I did.
That's it. I mean, that was nice of you.
I thought so. She didn't see it that way.
I've never slept through an alarm in my life. You know what I mean? Even like, and I've had some nights where I don't remember. I don't think I've ever slept through an alarm in my entire life.
She said, I'm a little upset though that she didn't have the camera available because when I snapped out of my stupor and went, what the hell am I doing? I'm literally in a powerlifter squat about to pick up the corner of the dresser.
No, and by the way, nobody wants to see that.
No.
Nobody.
Nobody.
The story is good enough.
25-year-old Tom, it's not that big a deal. 55-year-old Tom, I could have been back in the hospital again. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. 25-year-old Tom, you would have thrown it through the window.
Oh. She wouldn't ask me what I was doing. She goes, why'd you do that? She'd have screamed at me as it was going out the window. Yeah, so. But anyway, my wife, God love her, she's been up since 1:45, 1:47 this morning, all because of me.
Everybody go buy Just Shipped and bring her a cup of coffee.
There you go. We got to take a break. We'll be right back after this timeout. We're going to talk to our professional analyst on what he thinks will be the thing that sends gas prices back below $4 a gallon. Because I got another analyst idea, and I don't know if my analyst is going to agree with it or not. We'll talk about that next. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Join Gary and Don Crawford of Pinnacle Retirement Advisors for Retirement with Pinnacle, Saturday mornings at 9 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Don't miss Retirement with Pinnacle with Gary and Don Crawford, Saturday mornings at 9. Firm offers insurance services. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
Are you or your loved one being released from a hospital and wondering how you'll manage? Inform your physician that you want to go to Palm Garden of Ocala at 2700 Southwest 34th Street for your rehabilitation. Palm Garden provides pain management, post-discharge follow-up, diabetic care, psychosocial support, and so much more. Plus, they even offer outpatient rehab. This award-winning care facility has a team of licensed professionals dedicated to enhancing your independence. Call 352-854-6262 today.
Hi, this is JP from Penn Flooring here in Ocala. I would like to invite you to come in and visit our spacious showroom where we have solutions for every style and budget. From wall-to-wall carpet to hardwood floors and tiles, we have an unsurpassed selection of flooring. At Penn Flooring, we've provided quality customer service with a family touch for over 25 years. Visit our website at pennflooring.com or come by our showroom, 1201 Southwest 17th Street, just over the bridge. Penn Flooring, quality customer service with a family touch.
The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talk. On a Wednesday, it feels like a Tuesday, though. Galen, from Lifestyle joins us thanks to the good folks at Penn Flooring, Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center, and Just Ship. Galen, it really does feel like Tuesday. The Monday, if I could get the Friday off so it's a long weekend at the beginning, that's much better to me than the long weekend where the Monday is the end.
I disagree, because then you can spend. I think Friday night. Then you get that day Monday. I think I'd rather have a Monday day off.
Take off. You know why I like Fridays off, though. I'll tell you why. Because it reminds me of college. Remember, you went to school Monday through Thursday. Thursday was the night everybody went out because nobody went to class on Friday.
Absolutely.
Only idiots that didn't know how to schedule properly had Friday classes.
Yeah, there was no senior in the world who's got a class on Friday.
No. And if you were the only time I had a Friday class, the only time I literally had a Friday class was my junior year, and I had a Friday class. It was Intro to Poli-Sci. For some reason, I had omitted it from. I know.
Great class.
For some reason, I had omitted it. I'm well into my major, and then I go, oh, I don't have my Intro to Poli-Sci, and I had to have it because my social science degree. My degree was in social science, so you had to have it.
Sure.
And the only advantage to that Friday class was as a junior, it was a heavily attended freshman class.
There's nothing wrong with that. You help them move in. You might as well help them get through Poli-Sci.
There were some advantages to being able to help tutor, as it were, freshmen that needed help with their Poli-Sci.
Oh, man. Freshmen. They're so dumb.
And who am I not to help an incoming freshman with her Poli-Sci?
Legal.
Yeah. Some guy goes, hey, why don't you help us with our Poli-Sci? You're a dude. Figure it out.
This is an art.
Okay. I'm lazy, so I didn't show up on freshman orientation day to help them move in or anything. So I help them through tutoring in Poli-Sci.
Absolutely right.
But that's the only Friday class I ever had, and it was Dr. Krista Slayton, and it was the only class. It was the largest class I ever attended in college. Had 235 students in it. Oh, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
My poli-sci had 18 in it. That was
Your whole
my
college.
second largest
But
class.
Flagler had what, like 25 students? The whole place.
Yeah, no. My largest class was my first English class, and there were 23 students in it.
Man.
So
My,
after my junior year, I never had a class with more than 6 people in it.
My freshman college algebra class was almost as bad. My freshman college algebra class had like 200 kids in it.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was ridiculous. But, it's one of those things where, because college algebra is really a refresher of Algebra 2. So it's really, you either know it or you don't know it. You either listened in the 10th grade in high school or you didn't. It's that easy. It's that
I'm
easy.
not good at math.
Well, I wasn't good at math, but I was good enough to get a B, so that's all I needed. That's all I needed.
Yeah, sure.
That's all I needed. Hey, so there's an analyst out that says there's going to be only one thing that sends oil prices down below $4 a gallon, and he says it's the one thing is really a combination. I go, why is that one thing if it's a combination? He goes, pull back on aggressive travel and supply going up. Well, hello, Captain Obvious. We know supply goes up, demand goes down, prices come down. I mean, is that really the only thing that's really going to make the difference here? Supply up, demand down?
Well, that's what's happening right now. So, if you look at the market, and when you're
oil
looking
closed
at
below
oil,
$100 yesterday.
Yeah, I've learned a lot about oil over the last 6 months. It's one of those things that I'm trying to understand a little bit more, and that whole cost per barrel piece. So for the first time in, I think, like 20 years, oil production, not production necessarily, but oil availability on the open market in the month of June is higher than the current demand. So the recession is driving down the demand pretty heavily, actually. If you look around, the travel for this weekend was much lower than expectations had it at. You look at flight travel, believe it or not, that's a pretty major user of oil, being significantly down this weekend because of the July 4th protest by the American Airlines pilots.
Right.
All that's having a massive push on the lack of demand.
Well, when you say massive, when you say massive, Americans are spending, according to AAA and Gas Buddy, Americans are spending nearly $100 million per day less on gasoline than when it peaked 4 weeks ago.
That's correct. Because I think everybody is like, look, I'm not going away this weekend. I'm not. And you have to remember, all of this dovetails with the credit card usage being at an all-time high, right? Everybody is pulling back from everything because, when my dollar's worth, I read yesterday it's 82 cents worth. It's only worth 82 cents compared to 2 years ago, the same dollar. All that's driving that demand down. People are taking stay vacations. A lot of people didn't really go anywhere this year on their holiday. That's a big factor. And the market's going into a recession, and so now another big user of fuel is the construction, and that's really starting to come back to us. So we're headed to a recession, and that's going to be interesting for oil prices because demand's going to be way down.
Yeah, well, I got a buddy of mine that's in the petrol business, said that their prices on the back end fell about 40 cents a gallon this morning.
Sure.
When they got there this morning to check the markets, they're about 40 cents less than they were yesterday.
Yeah, and what will happen is then it won't be profitable to bring the oil out of the ground, so they will stop oil production works. It's a supply and demand. And don't forget, on the back end of this, it flew way under the radar, but Biden released another, 9 billion gallons or something like that, barrels of oil.
About 4 days
from the
worth.
Federal Reserve. Yeah, and again, that's an artificial inflation that has an impact for about 10 to 14 days. And so he did that a couple of days ago, last week, I think. And we'll see how that impacts the market as well.
Well, the analyst that I'm speaking, of is David Essner, and David Essner said the one thing that this will cause is demand destruction, and that's the only thing that is going to happen before prices fall back below $4 a gallon is demand destruction.
Well, and that's exactly
that's
what
a crazy word, isn't it? Demand destruction.
Sure, but that's exactly what this administration wants.
Right.
Right. They want more green energy.
They don't want you to have a demand for fuel.
And again, right now there's a really, really serious demand for, electric vehicles or alternative fuel vehicles. And what happens is the market will correct, because if gas prices fall down, then it's cheaper for me to buy a Nissan Sentra, for example, than it is to buy an electric vehicle that costs twice as much. And
we lost Galen.
Oh,
there you are. Okay.
I don't know. All right.
Hey, we're up against the break. Go ahead.
Sure. No, I was just going to say it's all demand, but the difference is the government's not allowing you to buy gas cars anymore. That's a real push all across the world. Electric vehicles.
That is a push across the world. We'll take a break. We'll come back. There's a Grammy Award-winning singer and songwriter that went on a television show yesterday and is catching grief now, but not the kind of grief you or I would catch, Galen. I'll tell you why after this timeout. You're listening to Ocala Talks on 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Designations for threatened species, notably salmon in California and the Pacific Northwest. Both the Fish and Wildlife Service and the National Marine Fisheries Service are reviewing a series of Endangered Species Act regulations issued by the Trump administration. This is Wednesday with First Light.
Airport. This is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
In Ag News.
USA Radio News with Lance Pride.
Murder charges have been filed, and today Robert Crimo, the third, will face a judge. Crimo is accused of gunning down innocent civilians at a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois. That's a suburb of Chicago. Kamala Harris visited the area Tuesday to push for more gun control in an area already brimming with gun laws.
So as we move forward, all agreeing that we got to be smarter as a country in terms of who has access to what, and in particular assault weapons. And we got to take this stuff seriously as you are, because you have been forced to have to take it seriously.
Russia is threatening to temporarily shut down the Nord Stream 1 pipeline. The Kremlin is calling it a scheduled maintenance. The shutdown will take place July 11th through the 21st. The European Union, which receives about 40% of its energy through the pipeline. USA Radio News.
Here's a question for you. Why is it that some people aren't as stressed out about the future as you'd think they'd be? Answer? They're probably among the millions of Americans who have prepared themselves with emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. If the worst ever happens, literally millions of American families are already protected from dealing with empty store shelves. Is yours? If not, go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and grab some emergency food kits, at least one for each member of your family.
QC Kinetics patient Robert Patterson, a veteran and business owner, struggled at work and in the gym with chronic agonizing shoulder pain.
Those injuries just continue to nag, and if you don't treat them, they just get worse. And I just kind of abused my body for a long time, and it finally had said enough is enough.
That's okay, because QC Kinetics tells your pain, hey, enough is enough. Their regenerative treatments bring you relief by helping restore and repair damaged tissue with no drugs, no downtime, and best of all, no surgery.
I was able to exceed the goals that I had previously attained in the gym. It was absolutely worth its weight in gold, so I could continue to live life without limitation.
Ready to get lasting relief from your joint pain? Call QC Kinetics to learn more about how natural biologic treatments can get you lasting results. Call now. It's a free consultation.
352-400-4550. That's 352-400-4550. QC Kinetics, 352-400-4550.
At Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens in Ocala, that big full-page ad is just the beginning of the savings each week. For money-saving yard and garden ideas, you've got to see for yourself, so plan on coming out some morning and enjoy a walk through this gorgeous 5-acre garden. This week, Bob has blooming hanging baskets, buy one, get one at half price. Take your pick of all the best herbs. They're 50% off. Fruit plants starting as low as $9.99. And the year's biggest selection of citrus with bushes starting at $29.99, patio pots for $49.99, and trees at just $69.99. Butterfly and hummingbird plants start at just $3.99. And don't forget shade trees. Buy one at Bob Wine's super low price and get a second one just like it for 50% off. Come on down to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens on Southeast 38th Street in Ocala. They're open daily 9 to 4, Saturdays till 3, in the same blooming place, growing with Ocala for more than 70 years.
Nirvana Medical Spa is Ocala's premier medical spa, home to a variety of non-invasive corrective laser treatments and facials. Besides filler, neurotoxin, laser hair, we offer PRP, tattoo removal, body contouring, vaginal rejuvenation, urinary incontinence, and men's sexual health. Become a better, brighter, happier you at Nirvana Medical Spa.
Hey, did you know there's an Italian bakery in Ocala? Well, there is. It's the Magnolia Italian Bakery, where you can get the best Italian specialties. We have Italian and New York cheesecakes, fresh-made cannolis, cream puffs, eclairs, and even custom and gourmet cakes. We even serve hot and cold lunch daily. I suggest you try the Italian special number 3. We even cater big and small events. So call ahead, 352-207-2667. Visit the Magnolia Italian Bakery. Manja. God bless.
Now you've done it. Have you lost your mind? He's back. And you're listening again. A legend in his own mind. Don't believe me? Just ask him. Here's Tom Schmitz live on WOCA. The Source.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. On a Wednesday, Galen, you know from Life South joins us, he does every day. Brought to you by the good folks that just shipped Penn Flooring and Palm Garden Health and Rehabilitation Center. Galen, a Grammy Award-winning songwriter and singer, went on Piers Morgan Uncensored yesterday, a talk show. And the Grammy Award winner is Macy Gray. And now I like Macy Gray. I think Macy Gray speaks from the heart. She never sugarcoats it. If you know anything about Macy Gray, she tells you what she's thinking. It's if you like it, that's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine too. And yesterday she goes, look, this he, she, they thing, I agree with trans rights. I believe they should have fairness and equality. But she goes, look, men are born to obvious superior physical bodies. They should be prohibited from competing against women in sports, whether they've transed or not. She said, I totally agree that trans have the fairness and equality in life, but she'll say this, everybody's going to hate me for it, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts, as a man, just because you go change your parts, that doesn't make you a woman. Sorry. If you want me to call you a her, I will, because that's what you want and that's what you deserve. But that doesn't make you a woman biologically. Just because I call you a her, that doesn't mean that you're a woman just because you got surgery. Now, she's catching a little grief for this, but not very much because it's an African-American woman saying this about trans. If you or I said this, we'd be thrown off the airwaves. We'd never be allowed anywhere near a microphone again. But I applaud Macy Gray. I applaud Macy Gray for saying exactly what she thinks. And what, by the way, a lot of other people think.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you were to poll America, and you said, do you believe this? I'd probably say 75% would agree with that. A minimum, and that's across the country. Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair, what she said.
I think,
and what I don't get, a lot of people are like, she just doesn't understand. Okay, what doesn't she understand? That's what I ask. I mean, there is biology. I mean, biology is a science.
She said surgery or finding yourself doesn't change the fact you were born a man. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, you know? You can't just say because you want to be a woman, you are one. It's growing up that way all your life. She goes, look, I don't think that I should be labeled transphobic just because I don't agree with men that say they're women now just because they've had surgery. And she goes, I got nothing but love for the LGBT community and transgender community. She said, I've been a supporter since day one, never a fake one. My comments on Piers Morgan were what I believe biologically. That's just what I think.
Sure. Yeah, again, what is there to say?
You know what I
mean?
And she's catching a little grief, but for once, men would understand the double standard that women have been saying for years exists. Because if you or I said that comment, we'd be on the back of a garbage truck picking up good. There's nothing wrong with that job, and that's what we'd be doing now.
Sure. Well, and that's exactly right. I have nothing more to add.
We'd go from radio. We'd go from radio to a Lyft driver. That would be our job. That's what we do.
There's not a lot to say.
There is not.
There's not a lot to say to that.
But a lot of. Go
I
ahead.
don't think she's wrong.
No, I think she has a lot of people agree with her.
Absolutely. And why is that so bad? One of the things I don't understand, and I guess you and I grew up in a different world where it was okay if not everybody accepted who we were or even liked it. You know what I mean? What happened to the hey, not everybody's going to like you in this world.
If I worried about everybody who didn't like me, I would worry 25 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, look, I just, but and that I was always taught, words can't hurt you unless you allow them to. Okay.
Let's be honest.
But
I don't
but
like
not
me
in
sometimes.
Today's world.
I don't like me sometimes. Let's be honest.
Sure. And again, I mean, I don't know. I struggle with some of the softness is the wrong word because people get offended by that. But there's a lot of fragility in people automatically putting their self-worth into what other people think of them. You know what I mean? That's at its root cause. That's what we're dealing with.
That is exactly what we're dealing with.
If your worth comes from other people's acceptance of you, man, your life is going to be terrible. You'll never be satisfied. You'll be chasing something that's unattainable
for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and again, I don't know where some of this comes from. Maybe it's because there's not a basis in that your worth and your value comes from God. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. It's got to come from inside you. I agree. I definitely believe that.
Well, I applaud Macy Gray for the statement and sticking by it
Sure.
and not walking it back. Good for her.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I appreciate the conversation. If you want to talk about it, let's talk about it.
Right.
But don't say that we. But what's happening is you're not even allowed to discuss that. How dare you talk about something like that? Well, how can I ever understand something if you're unwilling to share that with me?
If you won't talk to me about it, how am I supposed to learn about it?
Sure, exactly. That's exactly right.
So, speaking of talking, something I'm tired of talking about, but you think we need to talk about it. There's a little angst and anger going on in the golf world.
Well, I mean, we could talk about it because I know you love golf. I just think it's great. We're hearing from more and more of these people who came out and joined the LIV. And
well, Pat Perez is my new hero.
Well, yeah, I mean, that threshold's pretty low apparently.
Well, you were one time my hero, so you're right. It is a low threshold.
That's right. Well, that's unfortunate. You know, if you're looking for me to be your hero, your days are over.
Well, you and Charles Barkley, you know.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, but
by
Pat
the way,
Perez
he nailed that heroism thing.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. Pat Perez yesterday was very candid in his news conference. They said, "Why are you? You know, Pat Perez? What this?" He goes, "Look, I'm 43 years old. I've been on tour for 20 years. I've played in 815 events. I've won 5 of them. They offered me more money than I've ever made in my career on the PGA Tour. Why not go?" Pat Perez at least was honest. Pat Perez didn't try to we're trying to change the game. Pat Perez said, "I'm 43. They offered me stupid money. I said, sure." If that was the answer that Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka and those guys gave whenever they were asked, why'd you switch? Dude, have you seen how stupid the money is? It's dumb not to switch. If they'd have been upfront and honest about it from the very beginning, would this even be a story?
No, but I said that at the get-go. Again, especially in America, in the land of capitalism, if you begrudge the guys for chasing the money, then you internally are a hypocrite. You know what I mean? You just are. I'm sorry if you don't agree. If you somehow think, it's
yeah, but
blood
it's
money.
the Saudis are ruthless, Galen, and it's terrible. They're terrible people, and why go take their money? They're such terrible people because Henry Ford was such a great guy.
I mean, we could go round and round on that, right? What I said from the beginning is be very clear. I saw one of the press conferences, and they were pushing them about, well, what are your talking points? What is this group giving you to talk about? And I think it was Brooks Koepka, and he's like, what are you talking about? He says, you can ask me any question you want. I don't understand. He goes, there's nobody here but me. What do you want what do you want to ask me? Just ask me. You know, I mean, at some point, that part of this tour will go away.
Yes.
Right? It just will. And this tour will not live or die based on the Saudis and the blood money, because that will just go away.
If the golf's not good, nobody's going to watch it.
That's right. That's right. If the golf has to be compelling.
If you don't understand the rules and this team thing,
that doesn't help.
No,
they
because I'm a golfer. I'm a golfer. I watched the first 2 weeks, and I can't keep up. So I'm like, why? At least I know what's happening on Golf Channel. At least I know what's happening on CBS.
And again, but this is what. No, I mean, Greg Norman. This is what he's done with every one of his tour. Remember, he tried the Stafford scoring system.
Yep.
Which is real. That's high level Nassau Sunday level science that goes on there. If I need to have a special calculator when I play golf,
exactly.
Then I'm out.
The Stableford system. The Stableford system's not. It's very confusing.
That's an understatement. And now he's put in this team thing, and I read it. I don't know where I saw it, but they're like, well, we're golf has always been an individual game. We're trying to make it more of a Davis.
But it's a new team every week. It's not the same team, and you don't accumulate points over the season. It's a new team every week.
But does anybody on the planet, other than John McEnroe, understand Davis Cup scoring system?
No.
That's a legitimate question. By the way, there was a time when I watched every single tennis match that was ever played, live. That days are long gone. But even back then, I didn't understand Davis Cup. It made no sense to me. I was like, okay, Pete Sampras is playing who, and why do we? What now? How does this work?
Yeah, Belarus has a Davis Cup team. When was the last time Belarus had anybody I know that plays professional tennis? When? Oh, yeah, that's right.
I don't
Never.
know. Maybe they've had a gymnast or two.
Yeah.
Again, but if that's your model, if your model is David, you're in trouble. Right? Golf has never been a team game. Maybe in the NCAA, maybe in high school.
That's what makes the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup so cool. And the Ryder Cup, really, the President's Cup's just an afterthought. But what makes the Ryder Cup so cool is it's something that only happens once every 4 years, 2 years. That's what it is, every 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not something that happens every week. Like, here's how I knew. This is what I knew when we started talking about teams. I was like, huh? I don't even like to watch the golf tournament down in New Orleans. What is it? They moved it now, and it used to be an individual, but now it's a team game, 2-man team game, and it's in New Orleans every year. The golf tournament's escaping me right now. But it used to be an individual thing, but now it's a 2-man game in New Orleans every year, and it's garbage to watch. It just is.
But again, how many people look at the FedEx Cup standings every week and say, "Oh wow, let's see where this is"? Nobody.
All I know is Scotty Scheffler's in first. That's all I know.
No, you just know. No, you know he's the number one player in the world.
Well, no, I know he's ranked number one in the FedEx Cup too. I do know that.
Okay, well, there you go. Congratulations, you won the U.S.
But I couldn't tell you who's second. I
No,
have no idea who's
the
second.
Should have. He came in. He should have won the U.S. Open. I think but that's a different thing. I don't care. Nobody cares. I think all of that stuff is just
the Zurich Classic, by the way. The Zurich Classic in New Orleans.
But all that's a takeaway from this guy won. That's all you need to do. And all these sports make their scoring system so complicated. And here comes NASCAR, just going over the top, trying to make it as difficult as possible. You know, I get it. And in that regard, F1's gotten it right.
But what is this doing though? Geez. What is this doing though to? I mean, this is putting a serious rift between. This was a rift between the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour, and Live Golf, right? But they've seemed that the three governing bodies seem to have taken a back seat and just letting the golfers themselves become the instruments of vitriol and just bad comments and everything. I mean, they're going to be guys that don't talk to each other ever again in life because of this. And
you know that's not true. You know that's not true.
Look, I know Billy Herschel. I know Billy Herschel personally. Billy carries grudges. Billy may never talk to some of these guys again.
Well, good for him. Yeah, and again, by the way, this is exactly what LIV wants.
Of course it is. It keeps them in the news.
Relevant.
Right.
But the LIV needs to quit shooting themselves in the foot and say, look, this team thing is just stupid. We understand that. What we're going to do is we're just going to play golf. We're going to play 3 rounds. We're going to keep the shotgun start because everybody can follow that and understand it. And that way I can watch every player. And there's nonstop action. We're not going to take a lot of commercials. By the way, a lot of that makes sense to me, right? If you want a viewable product, you're going to make sure that there's action all the time. And so if you do the shotgun start, you can tune in, and for 3 hours you can watch every player play. I think that, from a television standpoint, that makes sense.
Well, I just can't believe Justin Thomas still blasting the LIV. Fred Couples come out blasting the LIV. Fred Couples and Greg Norman used to be buddies. You think that phone call is going to be icy?
I don't know about that. I don't know if they were ever buddies. They never went on vacation together.
Well, there's different. You and I are buddies. We don't go on no vacation together.
Yeah, that's what I mean. And then again, like, let's say this ruined our relationship, right? I can never talk to you again. First of all, we're both pretty shallow at that point.
That's not unsurprising, though.
But if I saw you at trivia, you were doing a trivia, I may heckle the heck out of you because your questions are terrible most of the time in the second round. But that wouldn't be any different than what I would do right now.
Yeah, I can't believe. I thought that a lot of the golfers would say, I'm done talking about this. Let's move on. I'm worried about my tournament this week and everything. And they're not. They're like,
Why?
yeah, let's talk about it.
No.
They're liars. Why don't they admit they're just doing it for the money? And it comes off, to me, it comes off as the PGA players that decided not to go. Are you really angry that they went and created another golf tournament, or are you just angry that they took the money and you didn't?
But both can be true.
They both can be true. Yeah.
You really don't think a guy like Matt Wolff, right, who came out and said, I just don't realize how great my life is because of the PGA Tour, right? You're going to continue to get comments like that. But on the other hand, he's probably looking at a dude like Pat Perez and going, Pat Perez made more money than I did this year. Pat Perez. In the back of his mind, he's like, I could beat Pat Perez 99 out of 100 times on any golf course in the world.
Bryson DeChambeau.
Pat Perez is getting paid.
Right.
Pat Perez no longer has to qualify.
Robert Garagos doesn't have to do what? Robert Garagos doesn't have to do what?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. So there's a little resentment. There's and again, McIlroy could have joined the LIV and become the poster child for LIV. And by the way, he would have given some real credibility to that in Europe. And by the way, don't give up on him yet, because if he could see these guys playing those three majors, and I really believe he's testing the waters to see how the world on the golf course itself, because these guys live in a bubble. Right. They only get the information they want to get. So if he goes to the golf course and somebody, like Johnson and DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka are well received, then McIlroy's going to look at it and go, yeah, what am I doing?
Look,
what am I doing?
Here's somebody asked me this question this weekend, and I didn't have a good answer for it. They go, and my answer was, you can't take that out of the equation. That was my answer. But they said, take the money backer out. Just say it's person X or country X.
Let's say it's
company.
Elon Musk.
Okay, yeah.
Right, let's say it's Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is the backer, okay? Then, when you take that out of it, and you just put it brass tacks, they started a new tour. What makes what Greg Norman and this group of guys did any different from what, wait for it, I'm about to say two names that you don't talk about. What makes that different than what Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus did to the PGA of America?
No, to me it's different than that. What's the difference between this and the Shell? Remember the Shell, what they called?
Oh, yeah, the where they played the two-man game against each other on TV and everything.
Exactly.
No, but my point is they're starting a new golf league. The PGA Tour was started by Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus because they were tired of PGA of America. So they started the PGA Tour. And by the way, people were not happy about that when it happened.
Sure.
If you take the Saudis out of it and say it was Elon Musk, all they've done is the same thing that Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer did in 1967, created another tour with different money backing than the tour they were on.
That's exactly right.
That's all they've done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. It just seems to me that there's a lot of vitriol coming out that is going to be hard to walk back once all this blows over. Once all this blows over.
I guess. So how long does the LIV last then in your mind?
I think the LIV in some form will be here and be the Saudis will stop backing it because some of it's going to be just like the World Golf Championships that Norman tried to start 30 years ago that fell apart, but the PGA Tour picked up the remnants of it and made the World Golf Championships that we have now 4 tournaments a year. Some of this is good. It's going to force the PGA to do some things. There's probably going to be, the PGA's already talked that they're looking at making 8 special tournaments that have no cut, and they're already talking about how the money, they're going to try to double prize money on tour and everything. So you're already seeing some of the stuff that the PGA Tour is going to institute that comes directly because of the LIV Golf League.
Well, there you go.
They had never thought about having 8 special no-cut tournaments. Now they're saying, well, that makes, we can do that with our best players and everything. Have like 8 tournaments that are like the Tour Championship, but instead of 30 players, have 70 players or something like that.
Right.
No cuts.
Absolutely.
And by the way, that's the kind of golf I like. I understand the cuts and all when you got 150, 100, but I would be okay with you giving me the top 50 golfers every week in a no-cut 3-round tournament. I'm okay with that.
But agreed. That's all I'm ever saying is the best ideas usually win. And again, if the LIV can continue to become relevant, and they don't have every. I heard somebody, well, every tournament's got to be relevant. No, it doesn't. They need 2 or 3 relevant tournaments a year, right? Because the other 3 come from the PGA Tour's existing tournament.
Right.
The Open, the U.S. Open, and the Masters, because they're going to be able to play in those, no doubt. Don't doubt that for a minute. Again, the rest is let's just see what happens.
I
see what happens.
I think that there's some comments that are being made that are going to be hard to walk back in months and months to come.
I respect that.
So the Dallas Cowboys are in trouble again.
Well, that's not a shock.
They're
terrible.
They entered into a partnership with a coffee company that's going to sell coffee at the stadium. It's the Black Rifle Coffee. They offer roasts like the AK-47 Espresso Blend,
Correct.
the Murdered Out Coffee Roast, the Gunship Roast, the Silencer Smooth Coffee Roast. They've also been connected with Kyle Rittenhouse as an endorser.
No, they have.
So, the Dallas Cowboys are facing you know what? Jerry Jones is going to do what he thinks will sell in his stadium, and I promise you this coffee will sell.
Apparently, I don't drink coffee, but apparently people like it. It's on a lot of podcasts and from the right side of the aisle. So good for them. All of those marketing deals they're full of money. Why not?
They've been taking money to name stadiums and everything for years. Okay, so just because it's a pro-gun coffee company,
absolutely. And there's veterans that created it. It's a marketing.
Of course it is. Galen, speaking of
and
marketing,
by the way, there's not a single Cowboys fan that's going to stop loving the Cowboys.
No, exactly. Speaking of marketing, where's the blood mobile today so we can get folks to know that they got to come give blood?
Yeah, again, we're in the villages. Our focus has been there since we're now the sole blood provider for that entire community. But more importantly, we're also the blood supplier for over 125 hospitals all across the Southeast. We need you to come in and give blood, including the VA right here in Gainesville. We're in emergency need of all types. Look us up, lifesouth.org. Give blood today.
Galen, I'll talk to you tomorrow, pal.
All right, bye all.
You're listening to Ocala Talks on a Wednesday. Robert Colin in the building. He's next, right here on Ocala Talks, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA. The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
Prosecutors on Tuesday filed murder charges against the man suspected of firing upon crowds gathered for a 4th of July parade in Highland Park, Illinois on Monday morning. He ended up killing 7 people and injuring more than 30. Robert Cremo III is 21 years old. He is charged with 7 counts of first-degree murder. A judge in Mississippi on Tuesday denied a request from Jackson Women's Health Organization to temporarily block the state's trigger law, banning nearly all abortions, which is set to take effect on Thursday. Judge Deborah Halford wrote in her opinion, the Mississippi Constitution does not mention abortion. Musician Carlos Santana collapsed on stage at a Clarkston, Michigan performance Tuesday night in a scary scene that ended with him waving to fans as he was taken away on a stretcher. A spokesperson for the 74-year-old Santana said Carlos was overcome by heat exhaustion and dehydration. USA Radio News.
This is an important notice to consumers facing $10,000 or more in credit card debt, medical bills, or other unsecured debt. You're not required to pay it all back because there are special programs now in effect that will significantly reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. These programs, which the credit card companies like to keep secret, exist to aid American consumers struggling with overwhelming credit card debt by offering tremendous savings and real debt relief. Accredited Debt Relief has established a special hotline for you to call and learn what savings you qualify for. They've helped qualify consumers with over $1 billion in debt and are A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. So don't wait. Get the relief you need during these hard economic times. For this free information, call the Accredited Debt Relief Hotline now. Call 800-279-1717. 800-279-1717. That's 800-279-1717.
It's time for Farm and Ranch headlines on the Southeast AgNet. I'm Tyron Spearman reporting. Talk about nutrition. The peanut is a plant-based protein, like peanuts, which is said to be healthier than the typical animal protein found in fast food. According to the Peanut Institute, which has just released a new report on research for peanuts, says that the plant-based protein helps you live longer. The swapping proteins protects against diabetes. The plant-based protein makes you faster, believe it or not, and the plant-based protein is more sustainable. They said it's time for fast food to make a quick retreat because peanuts and peanut butter can afford delicious meals that are more nutritious, more affordable, and just as fast and convenient. So if you're looking for a go-to snack food that's great on the go, look no further than peanuts and peanut butter. That is coming from the Peanut Institute, which is based in Albany, Georgia. They say less water is good than other nuts, peanuts as well. Another report came out this week that peanuts can reduce Alzheimer's disease risk by 70%, thanks to the excellent niacin content of the peanut that makes that happen. But overall, the peanut farmers are proud to learn that the peanut is more nutritious than you think.
They say farming isn't a career, it's a way of life. While the work is rewarding, the daily stresses can be both physically and emotionally demanding. Sadly, 50% of farmers say it's difficult to access therapy or counseling in their community. Our 24-hour helpline changes that. Call 211 or text FARM-FL to 898-211. You don't have to deal with stress or anxiety alone. Learn more at 211.org.